Hi, and welcome to another video by Jim the Car Guy. Today we have a 2019, it's a Hyundai Santa Fe. We're going to be changing the oil and the filter. Fairly easy job. I'm going to show you what tools you're going to need, and then we're going to get started and get this job done. Alright, so let's get this set up, let's get some tools out, and we're going to get started. Okay, and this is an example of what kind of tools you're going to need. We're going to need a small flathead screwdriver to take the cover off down underneath, which covers up everything underneath the bottom. We're going to use a 10 millimeter. I am going to use a 1/4 inch on here because they come off fairly easy, but you could use a 3/8 drive if that's what you choose. These are the tools needed to remove the oil filter from the vehicle. Now this obviously is our new filter, and this is how the tools work. This one goes around the filter just like this, and then you take it, actually be the other direction, like this, and you take it and you turn off the filter so you can remove it from the vehicle. This one actually fits over the filter just like this. You put the filter obviously is up inside the car, and that's how the filter, this tool goes onto the filter just like this, and then you would put your socket, your extension through here, and you would take your ratchet as well, put it on here like this, and then you would come in through the bottom right here, and you would remove the filter like that. That's the other kind. And this one is the third kind. This actually fits right over it. It fits directly over the top, just like this. This is the one I'm going to be using because it works the best out of all of them. And then we use our ratchet here to take off the filter. Alright, so that's just an example of the different kinds out there. I will put a link in my Amazon store so you can check these tools out to see what they are and how they work. And of course we're going to need a set of sockets like this, metric to remove the oil drain plug, or a 10 millimeter to take out that cover underneath the bottom. Alright, so let's get underneath the car and let's get started. Okay, now looking at it from the underneath part of the car itself, or truck in this case, we're going to take out that 10 millimeter there. We're going to take out this clip here and here, and we're going to take out that one 10 millimeter bolt all the way back over there, and the other one right up underneath here, that shiny one right there. We're going to take that out as well, and then we're going to take this cover here down and out of the way. All right, so let me get in here and we'll take it apart. Okay, then we're going to continue up underneath here to take out this one right here, and we're just going to be very careful because this will break as well. Take it out just like that. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to take out that 10 millimeter and that 10 millimeter. So let me do that. Alright, so now we're going to take this cover here, and we're just going to pull it off, just like this, and we'll get this out of our way. And our oil drain plug is right there. It appears to be like 17 millimeters, so we're going to take that out. And then this is the oil filter right up underneath here. We're going to get on that too, and we'll drain that out too. So let's get some wrenches, and we'll take this out. Okay, so now this is our drain plug right here, and there's two different ways you can do it. One, you can put a box end wrench on it like this, and you can remove it like that. You never want to take a drain plug out with the open end part of a wrench. If you use the open end part of the wrench, you run the possibility of possibly stripping out the drain plug, so don't use the open end. Always make sure you use the box end, or if you don't have a wrench like that, then obviously you can use a regular socket on a ratchet, which is just like this, and it goes on just like that. And of course you want to go counterclockwise to remove it, clockwise to tighten it. So let's break it loose. Came out pretty easy. We're going to get our drain bucket below, and we're going to let that oil drain out into our bucket. You want to make sure your washer doesn't fall off because we may use it over again or we may change it. And that's our oil. We'll let that drain out a bit. And let me get a rag. We'll dry my hands off. But this is the washer that's on there. If the washer is in poor condition, you want to replace it. So, all right, let's clean this up a little bit. We're going to let that drain. When it finishes draining, then we'll come back. Okay, so now once the oil has stopped draining, you can see it's empty now. We're just going to come in with our drain plug, and you can see the washer is still on there. Now we're going to screw it in by hand all the way down until it doesn't go any further. Okay, nice felted touch, so we know it's nice and tight now. And then we're going to come in here with our ratchet, and we're just going to make it a little bit snug. You're not going to over tighten it. Now there is torque specs on this, but nobody really torques the drain plug back in. So you just want to snug it down, come until it touches into the oil pan, right? And you go just a tiny bit more, just like that. All right. And now we're going to come up with a rag and just clean off any of the excess oil that's on this area right here. All right, it's nice and clean now. And now we're going to come up in the front by the oil filter, and we're going to take out that filter. Now you remember what we talked about, there's different ways of doing it. You can get on here with a band style like this, that goes on there like that, and you would actually twist it and take it off. But the one that I like better than that is, I'll get in here, I'll show you what I mean. It goes on here, just like this, and then we just open it up. Tough to do one-handed, but we're just going to spread this open. We're just going to open this up, and we're going to put it on here. I'm going to pull it open just like that, and slide it on to the filter like this. And now we'll put our ratchet here, and we'll remove it. So let me grab the ratchet. We'll pull this off. Okay, pull our ratchet in here. Make sure it's in the off position, and then we're going to take it just like that, and we're going to take it and turn it, and you can see it digs into the filter, and it starts taking it off. Now once you have it loose enough that you can take it off by hand, then you can stop. All right, so it's pretty loose now. Take this, move it away. Okay, and now once you have it loosened up, we're going to loosen this filter, but we're going to loosen it up very, very little, because we don't want it dripping all over this shield here. So let's see now where it's going to come out. A little bit. And we're going to let that drain out like that, because we don't want all that oil going up inside this this shield right here, because it'll make a mess in your driveway or in your garage or wherever it may be. So now we're just going to let this drain out until this is stopped running, and once it finishes draining out, then we'll come back and we'll take that filter out. So we'll just wait 1 minute. Once it finishes draining, it's never going to stop 100%, but it's almost. We're going to take this off, and we're going to hold the filter so it doesn't drop. We're going to turn it nice and easy. And you can feel it coming to the last threads. And then we'll take it out, and we'll put it in our bucket, just like that. Now what you have to do is you have to make sure that right up underneath here, you see this right here? You want to make sure that your O-ring came down, because sometimes the O-ring remains up here, and if the O-ring remains up there, it's going to create a problem for you. So you want to make sure that the O-ring is off, and then we'll wipe this off with a rag, and we're going to reinstall our new filter. So let's grab the new filter, and we'll come right back. Okay, now we take some clean motor oil, and on the new filter, we put a little bit of clean motor oil right on here. Don't use the old motor oil. Make sure you put clean oil on there. And now we're going to take our rag, we're going to go up underneath the bottom, clean off where the filter is going to go, and then we're going to reinstall it. Okay, now you can see up underneath here, you see where the oil is continuing to drip out of there? We're just going to come up with a rag, and we're going to make sure we clean off most of that oil up underneath there. You're never going to stop at 100%, but we're just going to take some of it out. All right, then we're going to take our new filter, And we're going to screw our filter on here by hand. You don't put it on with a wrench until you tighten this snug down, until it's just touching, right? And I'm just going to wipe the rag along here to see any oil on the filter, just like this. Now you can make this as tight as you can by hand. You don't have to put a wrench on it, just make it as tight as you can by hand. Okay? Alright, nice and tight. We'll wipe it off one more time. And that's it, we're all set. Alright, so let's put our cover back up underneath here, and we'll continue. Now we're going to put our cover back up. The cover goes back up in the front, just like this. Catch it in here. And then we're going to catch this other piece right here, up underneath where it belongs, right up in here, like this. Just like that. Okay. And now we'll catch our bolts back in here where they previously came out. Now remember, we're going to put the longer bolt in here, and we're going to put the other bolt back in here. So before you tighten anything up, catch each one of them loosely first, okay? Okay. Grab our one bolt that was different than the rest of them. Okay, and now we're ready to put our oil in. We take our cap off here. And you're going to get your funnel, and you stick your funnel in through the top over here, just like that. Now if you don't have a funnel, this type of funnel, you can really use just about anything that you have that'll get the oil in without spilling it. Alright, now when you put the oil in, you'll get the oil from these big box stores or wherever you get it from. They always have this metal cover over the top like that. Make sure that metal does not go inside when you're doing the oil change. What you want to do is you want to just open it up, just like that, and then take the metal out so nothing goes down inside the engine itself. Okay? And we'll get this out of here. The worst thing you can do is let this fall down inside there and go down inside the engine. So be real careful that that doesn't happen. All right, and we're just going to fill it up. Now we know that I looked this up on the owner's manual, and it said 5.07 quarts of oil. So this is a 5-quart container. So we're going to put all of this in and just a little bit more. We have 1 quart, so we're going to put in 1/4 of the other one, and then we'll start it up and let it run and see if we need to top it off any further. Take your time pouring it because you don't want it to come spilling back up out of the valve cover area. So pour it in nice and slow. Okay, so now we're just going to let that drain down a little bit. We'll pull it out, and then we'll put our cover back on. So we'll come back in 1 second. Okay, so now that the oil has finished draining, we're going to take our funnel out. You want to be careful not to drip any oil on top of the engine itself, and we'll take this away. I always wipe off any debris that could be on the cap itself like this, and then we'll screw this back in. And now it's tight. I just want to show you one thing before I start this. Take your dipstick out, wipe the dipstick down thoroughly, and if you take a look on your dipstick here, you'll see these 2 marks right here? That's the low mark, that's the full mark. You want to have it as close to the full mark as possible. Alright, but we have to start the truck up first to let the oil circulate, so that's what we're going to do. Let's put our dipstick back in. Let's grab the keys, and then we're going to start it up. Okay, so now after we let it run for a couple of seconds, we're going to let the oil drain back down into the oil pan, and then we're going to check our level. Now, while we're waiting for it to drain down, you want to look underneath your vehicle to make sure that we have no oil leaks underneath there, just to confirm that everything is nice and dry. Okay, now we take our stick, pull it out, put our rag on the bottom, clean it up, nice and clean, and then we'll take the stick, put it back down, hold it in for a second, and pull it out, and then we'll check it to see where the oil level is, and you can see it's right up to the top right here, so the oil is now full to where it's supposed to be. Alright, so this is all done. Let's go inside and let's reset that oil maintenance required light. Okay, so now after we've done our oil changes, we're going to come in and we're going to reset the maintenance reminder here. Here we go. First thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the key to the on position. Dashboard's going to light up. We're going to come to this button right over here, and the buttons we're going to use are going to be this button here and these buttons right here as well. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to press this button and we're going to watch the dashboard. Press and release. Press and release. Driver assistance. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to click it down. And you can see it coming down. Service interval. And then what you do is you press this button right here. Press it. And you can see on the dashboard it's not enabled. We need to enable it so we can reset it. So we're going to press this button here again to enable the service interval. So now it's enabled. We're going to click down on this button one more time. Down. And we're going to adjust the service interval. Yes, we want to. So we're going to press this button in one more time. And we're going to enter it. And we're going to now adjust it up or down depending on where we want it. I want to do it every 5,000 miles. We're going to press this one more time because we want to set this for 5,000 miles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to press this button and release it. And you can see that it'll move over. See? It's moved over just by pressing this button. Now we're at 5. Well, 1,000. Okay, so now it's at 5,000, which is where we want it. Now we're going to move over, over. And for me, you want to do it probably every 5 months. So we're going to 0, 0 there. We're going to press this button one more time, and it's going to move over. And we're going to do it for, well, let's for 6 months. Alright, so it's 6 months or 5,000 miles, whichever comes first. Alright, and now to save it, we're just going to go back up to the top here. And it's going to ask you, do you want to save it? Yes, we do. Service interval saved. Okay? Now, if you wanted to reset it, if the oil change required the oil to be changed, then you would just click it down to the reset. You see where it was up there? You just click down on here to reset, just like that. And then you would press this button again, and you would enter it, reset time and distance, and you do want to reset time and distance, so now you would press it again, and it was reset. Alright, so now we have 5,000 miles or 182 days, whichever comes first. Alright, so that's it. Our oil change is all done. The service interval is reset. Alright, and now to go back to your normal everyday driving screen, you would just press this upper button here, and you would return back to your driver information center. Okay? Okay, so that's it. We're all set. So as you can see, doing the oil change and filter is really a very easy job. Just make sure you clean off that filter area. Make sure that the O-ring itself, that rubber O-ring that's on the filter, doesn't stick up on the engine. Make sure you throw that away. Lubricate the new O-ring, and then tighten it up as tight as you can by hand, and that's it. You're all set. After you run the vehicle, make sure you look underneath to make sure everything is bone dry and there's no leaks whatsoever. Make sure your oil cap is on. And most importantly is get inside the vehicle and make sure you reset that maintenance reminder, because that'll tell you when the next time you're going to need to have the oil changed. That's it. We're done. All right, this vehicle's out the door and we're on to the next. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.